Yeah, IDs, welcome to Module 5. This is we're moving right along. It's we're in the fifth week already, and it's really hard to believe that we're getting closer and closer to the halfway point. Um, but this is really going to be a great week following a very important week with Module 4 and um, believe it or not, the project management module is one of my very favorites, and it's just because it definitely does get us thinking about these things, and as this week's discussions indicated, it's a really important topic for IDs, and there is a kind of something of a controversial nature, surrounding the idea of whether we're project managers or not. And those things certainly came out in both discussions this week. So it's really great, and it gets to the core of it. What is it that we're doing? And are we prepared? Do college programs have a responsibility to give us an experience with project management before we approach the workforce? So they're all really good questions. And it's a fun week. But as we start with that, and we actually get rolling on our projects, which I know know that's happening. I've gotten some really good emails with questions about the project and things like that, and that's all wonderful stuff. It's great to have those types of questions because whenever I have questions from you, I think twice about how I've laid the thing out or whether I've made the right choices and things like that, and it just makes for a better course. Um, so keep doing that. And I'm hoping that you've had your kickoff meeting, or if not, you're on your way to doing that very soon. And you're starting to plan and put the project plan together. As you know, that's not due today. It's not due tonight. It's due next week. And we give us a little extra time with that. And the two progress reports, right? The two progress reports are going to be due in week 6 and week 10. And each one of the members of your group is going to be responsible for one of them. So, when you're in your kickoff meeting or thereafter, you make a decision on who's the one that's going to draft, a project progress report 1, who's going to do progress report 2, and it's really important because it just kind of keeps us on track with this, and the fact that you have to write something down about the progress of your project really gives you some perspective on where you are, because you have to actually think about it and reflect upon it, and that's very valuable stuff. Okay, so again, the progress report is not due until week 6, and or module 6, and again, the number 2 would be due in week 10, and each one of those is going to be graded individually. All right, and the project plan is actually a group activity. So what you produce with the project plan is going to be a grade that you both get. And that's what I've been trying to do with this particular project, is I try to give opportunities for individual achievement, and then some required collaboration with that, and making that a grade. So it's not either, it's a little bit of both. And I think that the balance works out pretty well. Now let's talk about Module 5, which is a very important one, obviously. I mean, and if with objectives and outcomes and things. Most recently, I've been doing a lot of work with those items in the course, because we're working at the program level now at Northeastern in terms of creating robust course outcomes that will map to program outcomes. And then actually what we're doing too is with our mapping exercise that we've been doing is we take the outcomes for the program, we map them to the outcomes of the course, and then we kind of go to the objective and even the skill level, investigating the assets, rather the assignments and things like that with the assessments, to see if those things actually truly map back, and those skills that are being measured with the assessments actually are fulfilling the program outcomes, essentially. So it's really an interesting exercise that I've found. And as you'll see, writing outcomes and writing objectives that are accurate, that fully indicate what both you think needs to be communicated, and in fact what the instructor or your your SME is trying to accomplish is not easy. It's a very tricky exercise that requires a lot of practice and a lot of thought. You can't just quickly draft an objective in order to make it good. And so one of the things that's really great about the exercise using Robert Mager's book is that you really have to think and define what it is that you want to do through your performance objectives according to his book. And there's three pieces that go with an objective, and you can read all about that. And those styles of objectives are the ones that I'm going to require, at least in the first part with the assignment that we're going to be doing this week. That's due is going to be due next Monday. And the reason for that is you're going to submit your objectives to the discussion board, and you're going to have your classmates are going to have the opportunity to review them for you, give you some feedback, and then you have a chance to revise them, and then put them up for Monday. All right. So I want to give you that. I want to give you the full opportunity to get some feedback on that, and make them do a little bit later this week with your assignment. So the assignment is due Monday of next week, and that'll be really good. It's a really an important week, but it's one thing that it's going to give you an opportunity to start to work with your partner on this, and it gets you really thinking about what it is that you want to do as you're in your planning stage for the entire course. So do your best work with this. It definitely will pay off. You'll notice that a lot of times what we work with with objectives there's three pieces according to Mager, right? Most of the time what we're doing is we're just dealing with the performance piece, right? According to Mager, but there's two other pieces, right, that we're going to be working with. And what's going to happen too is ultimately in the final course, if you decide that you just want to do a performance type of objective for your course at the end, that's okay. But I want you to go through the exercise of doing the Mager style because it just gets you to think. I'm going to say this, I know, that in the lecture piece, and that is that I think it's really important that in order for people to in a particular area to make decisions about the level and the expectation of something, it's important that you kind of show that you've mastered that particular skill. So if you can master creating an objective according to the Mager way, you're almost giving yourself license to be able to say, okay, well, I'm just going to write my objective with just the performance because I already know that I can successfully draft an objective that has the three elements of Mager. So that's kind of like one of the things. You almost earn your license when you can master something, and then you can make choices as to how you decide that you want to do it. That's just kind of the way I look at it. So again, this is going to be a really great week, and we're rolling on the projects. If you have any questions, you know how to do it. If it's something that's germane to the entire class that your classmates can answer, please do it by the Q&A forum. If it's something that's specific to me, please do email me and ask me those questions, and we'll be rolling along, and it's exciting stuff. This course is always a real great one, and they're very, very different, and the responses we give with the discussions is always very different from semester to semester. So it's really, really wonderful. So have a great week, and we'll see you online. Bye bye.